Openness of information. It is characteristic of Earth civilization of the last millennia to suppress all information and knowledge and artificially restrict access to it. The idea that you may not get any knowledge, or you may not have access to certain information at all, pretty much hinders self-understanding and self-fulfillment. In fact, all information is available in the information fields of the universe and it must be accessible. The ability to get any knowledge is natural and should be treated as such. The only question is whether you need this information and whether you can apply it to practice by yourself. However, this does not change the fact that all the information is available and you can get it. This includes any spiritual practice and communication with your higher self. You must be sure that you can get any information present in the universe. Information access restriction is a fairly recent know-how. It was implemented on Orion and then extended to Earth during the Kali Yuga. They also invented various social institutions that exploit the conditions of lack of knowledge. These include, for example, legal theory, courts and other areas where the winner is not the one who is actually right, but the one who will more convincingly prove his or her arguments with an earthly mind, or simply, will lie. Now let's imagine a society where people's intuition is not blocked. At least some people have a good vision and contact with the information fields, and their abilities are taken into account. With this in mind, the whole mechanism of collecting evidence with possible infiltration of lies as a matter of fact, those social institutions were actually created for this purpose would make no sense. For that matter, it would be impossible to infiltrate lies on a global scale, which has always been the case in developed independent civilizations, including Earth before the flood. Another consequence of restricting access to information is the concept of intellectual property. It was first introduced by Egyptian priests of the negative line of Sirius and Orion, who used to sell licenses for artifacts and magical practices for gold. Now it is used everywhere. Yes, now when everything can be bought and sold, including information, people are forced to make a living from it. Anyway, this does not change the fact that all areas of knowledge are generally available on the subtle planes. You only need to learn how to get it. It is often objected that access to knowledge should not be free. For example, in times of the Iron Curtain or somewhere in a remote village, people kept their minds out of irrelevant information and led a happy life. Now people are lost in the flow of junk information, while their life is only getting worse. But that is a different story that is related to the culture of working with information. The Earth people, who have always lived in conditions of lack of information, virtually did not develop the skill in their previous incarnations, and therefore all the problems of the information age arise. Yet nothing prevents you from developing this skill. Even in universities, good teachers directly say something like, "We do not teach you, we show you how to search for knowledge." It means quickly and effectively filtering out material on the topic, selecting what you will read and what you will not, extracting useful information, summarizing it and using it as a basis of your work. However, many people are unaware that they can apply the skill to everyday life. After the reality is purified, all knowledge will also be naturally accessible and people will strive for not only getting it, but first of all, using it in their creative effort and implementing it to their creative personal fulfillment. Translated by Kira Gradova.